It's the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia, with your host, Bob Snap.
Hi guys, welcome to the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia. Thank you so much for being here. Today's video is a little bit different. It's more on the actor than the show. It's on Don Knotts, who played Barney Fife, and how he asked Tina Louise of Gilligan's Island out once a week for a year. Take a look. It's the sort of storyline that almost feels like it could be fresh out of the episode of the Andy Griffith Show. Barney Fife pursues a beautiful woman, unaware that she has no interest in him, for far longer than he should have. In fact, this isn't a funny bit of fiction, it's a real-life anecdote from the life of Don Knotts. Now, despite Knotts' performance as a bumbling comic foil to Griffith's straight man, Knotts himself is actually known as quite the ladies' man. In her book, Tied Up in Knots, My Dad and Me, Don Knotts' daughter, Karen, wrote, "Women love Dad because of his vulnerability. And of course, he made them laugh. Knotts had 3 wives throughout his life and even more romances. If you don't understand the appeal of a funny man, we're sorry for you, but Karen Knotts was kind enough to include a wonderful explanation from Nancy, the once wife of John Ritter, who had starred with Don Knotts on Three's Company. Nancy said, "I saw Don as the man who was quiet, kind, respectful, warm with his greeting, self-contained. It's hard to achieve all that. He went from being a highly sophisticated gentleman to the biggest goofball with a rubbery face. It's almost nothing sexier than someone who can be hilarious. He makes you laugh when he's being a pro." Of course, not everyone was falling for Don Knotts. The book encountered another story, this time from Knotts' friend Joni Robbins. Robbins recalled Knotts telling her that he had previously tried to win the affections of one Tina Louise, one of the stars of Gilligan's Island, and he was less than successful, the book recalled. He had a thing for redheads, and she had given him her phone number. Every week he'd call and ask if she'd like to go out on Saturday night. She'd say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have other plans, but will you call me next week?" This one went on for about a year until he realized how naive he'd been. So while Tina Louise was immune to Knotts' charm, we need not feel too sorry for him. Because of his humor and big heart, Knotts was never short of love, both from partners and friends alike. I don't blame Tina Louise. I really don't. I just think that it was her way of trying to say no without hurting him. I believe that. Maybe I'm naive, but I believe that. And, sometimes a guy gets a feather in his hat or in his craw for, a woman he ain't never going to get. And I've done that too. So I understand. And like they said, Don Knotts was happy. He was loved by women. He was loved by friends. He had us, the fans, so he was happy, man, I'm sure. Please don't forget about classic TV facts and trivia. It's on Florence Henderson of the Brady Bunch. And classic rock and country music facts and trivia. It's on some stories from the rock band AC/DC. Now, these aren't your average rock and roll stories, so don't be thinking that. These are some really interesting things. That some of them deal with life and death, and some of them deal with capturing a fugitive. Some amazing stuff. So you might want to check that out and subscribe if you don't mind. And please subscribe here if you haven't yet. Please like this video. I had higher hopes yesterday for the blooper thing because it did so well before, years ago. So if you did miss that, go back there and look at that. Something you'll enjoy, I'm sure. Anyway, that's all I have for you. I'm feeling kind of ill today, so this is why I'm kind of blah, if you will. So if you don't mind, say a prayer for me. I would appreciate it. You guys have a great day. God bless. And as always, I'm praying for you.